Has the temple taken precedence over development? Has communal emotions taken over the unity of Bharat? As the Ram Mandir finally comes back to life, the naysayers ask, or rather, throw these doubts around. For the sake of objectivity, let's raise certain questions and try to answer them. Why does India need the Ram Mandir? To answer these questions, we need to ask a deeper question. Who are we? What is our identity? Just like a person, a nation too has an identity. Its civilizational history. India, once the shining glory of the world, known as Sone ki Chidiya, was the envy of every contemporary civilization. We were butchered, looted, and trampled for the riches that we held. The invasion across a period of centuries led to a lot of loss: economic, political, social, and most importantly, cultural. The invaders tried their best to destroy our sense of history, our identity, and a cultural memory. They wanted us to remember only that which they deemed necessary and lose pride in our own heritage. Like various other performing and visual art forms, cultural practices, traditions, lifestyles, faith and monuments are also the vehicles that carry cultural heritage from generations to generations. This very continuity of heritage gives identity to a civilization and any nation. Ram Mandir is one of the living symbols that gives Bharat its identity. Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram was and is the cornerstone of our civilization. The ideal man, the ideal son, the ideal king, the ideal conduct, the ideal friend, even the ideal enemy. A man who was prince of a small kingdom traverses the subcontinent and challenges the most powerful man alive for justice. He never turned bitter or angry. While Ravan was dying, he still bowed to him. Our value system is eternally inspired by ideal conduct that Bhagwan Ram personified and demonstrated for the ordinary person to emulate. And thus, the glory of Bharat needs to shine forth through the Ram Mandir, so that our generations can take inspiration from these higher ideals and virtues, not by a history of plunder, invasion, and amnesia. It was dutiful and eminent for Indians to revive a lost heritage. The sleeping giant has finally risen. The invaders were able to demolish the temple, but not our consciousness. Now the question, is Ram Mandir compromising with development? Let us take a quick look at the direct positive economic impact of the Ram Mandir. Ayodhya Airport. Over 1,450 crores have been spent in constructing just the first phase. It spans a huge area of 6,500 square meters and can serve 10 lakh passengers annually. The facade mirrors the architectural splendor of the forthcoming mandir, and the interiors are adorned with local art by the local artisans. The Ayodhya Dham Junction, a 3-story railway station built at a cost of 240 crores, has everything: elevators, escalators, food plazas, shops, and various other amenities. And it has been built with sustainability kept in mind. 4 widened and beautiful roads: Rampath, Bhaktipath, Dharmpath, and Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Path. These are to be inaugurated very shortly. And the second order impact of the above is the rise in tourism and generation of massive employment opportunities for the people of Ayodhya engaged in hospitality, artisanal crafts, and much more. After all this, we come back where we began. Should the government not be building universities and hospitals rather than a temple? Before we go any further, let us look at some developmental data for the past 10 years. As we are all aware, India has grown to be the 5th largest economy globally. This has happened in the past decade. The number of universities built in just the past decade is 390, which is a long way ahead of the average 70 universities per decade before that. the number of colleges rose from 38.5 thousand to a whooping 43,796. The number of medical colleges that was 700 in 2014 now stand at 1,341 in numbers. Let us look at one last and the most exclaiming figure. In the last 10 years of the current government, 6,53,000 schools have been built against the 6,37,000 that were built across a span of preceding 70 years. The figures clearly suggest how the Modi government outdid 70 years of work by the other governments put together in just a decade. In fact, if the intentions are right, then it's not just possible but imperative to do both. Safeguard your heritage and lead the nation on the path of progress and power. India finally has the leadership that is committed to this goal. This was Jaya. You were watching InFact. Subscribe for more.